You know, there comes a time in every woman's life when she opens her wardrobe, takes one long look and thinks, who are these clothes for? Half of them don't fit, the other half don't feel right, and somewhere in the back there's a pair of shoes that were clearly designed for someone who hates feet. I call it the Great Wardrobe Reckoning, or, on a good day, the Great Wardrobe Liberation. Because at some point you realise that your wardrobe, like your life, has been quietly collecting expectations. The someday jeans, the just-in-case dress, the I'll wear this when I feel more confident top. And one day you decide you don't need a different body or a different life or a different version of yourself to wear clothes you actually like. You just need comfort and a sense of humour. So today, let's talk about letting go of itchy jumpers, unrealistic expectations, and all the things that don't fit anymore, in the wardrobe and in life. Welcome. Come on in, get comfy, and let's sit for a while. Every few years, something stirs deep within me, a mysterious urge, almost primal in nature, to fling open my wardrobe door and declare, right, that's it, we're sorting this lot out. It starts with good intentions, a tidy up, a bit of organisation, maybe even a dash of minimalism. But who doesn't love the fantasy of opening a wardrobe that looks like it belongs to a serene, linen-wearing woman who does yoga at sunrise and always remembers her reusable bags? But within 5 minutes, it's chaos. There's a mountain of clothes on the bed, none of which I've worn in years. There are hangers tangled together in an act of quiet rebellion, and I'm standing there holding a sequined top that feels like a message from a past life. Some of these clothes are survivors of the just-in-case era. You know the ones. Just in case I ever go to a glamorous party again. Just in case I suddenly develop the lifestyle of someone who lunches. Just in case I wake up one morning as the kind of woman who wears white without fear. There's also the someday section. The jeans that will fit someday. The shoes that will someday stop hurting. The dress I'll wear someday when I finally get my act together. Someday has been pending for about a decade. And then there's the nostalgia corner. Items too sentimental to wear, but too meaningful to let go. The dress from that wonderful holiday. The scarf from a friend who's no longer here. The jumper that still smells faintly of a time when life felt a little different. Each piece has its own story, its own tiny emotional weight. And as I stand there surrounded by fabric and memory, I realise that this isn't just about clothes, it's about identity. All the versions of me that have existed over the years still hanging around, literally. There's the ambitious career me in tailored blazers and sensible heels, the trying to look effortless me with floaty tops that never quite sat right, the I'll wear this when I lose a bit of weight me, who, let's be honest, has retired gracefully from active service. And of course, the bargain hunting me, who bought things purely because they were on sale, regardless of whether they made any sense at all. Some of these clothes represent who I thought I should be. Some represent who I was trying to impress, and a few are just inexplicable. Like that top that requires an engineering degree to put on correctly. The wardrobe, I realise, is a museum of expectations, of every version of myself I've been or pretended to be. And the truth is, a lot of those versions don't fit anymore. Not just physically, though let's be honest, That's true in some cases too. But emotionally, there are whole chapters of life I've outgrown, ambitions that no longer sparkle the same way, standards that once felt like survival now just feel like pressure. Standing there, it hits me. It's not that the clothes have changed, it's that I have. And suddenly, I'm not just sorting through jumpers and jeans, I'm sifting through memories. I'm saying thank you and goodbye to old selves, with the same tenderness I use for a friend moving away. It's funny, isn't it? We talk about decluttering as if it's purely practical, but it's emotional work. Each item asks you quietly, do you still need me? And sometimes the answer is a soft, honest no. So there I am, sitting cross-legged on the floor, surrounded by decades of cotton and polyester, when I realise I'm not just clearing space in my wardrobe, I'm clearing space in my life. And it feels messy and liberating at the same time, like shedding skin, or exhaling after holding your breath for far too long. And of course, by the end of it, the wardrobe still isn't exactly minimalist, but it is more honest. Every piece that stays has passed a quiet little test. Does it feel good? Does it feel like me? And will it let me breathe? Letting go sounds simple, doesn't it? Until you're standing there holding a cardigan, like it's a relationship you're not quite ready to end. We tell ourselves stories about things. This jacket was expensive. These shoes might come back in style. This dress will fit again when I start walking more. And maybe all of that is true. But sometimes keeping these things isn't about clothes at all. It's about hope. It's about memory. It's about who we used to be, or who we still secretly wish we could become. And that's the tender bit of a wardrobe clear out. It's not really about fabric and hangers. It's about self-image and letting go of the old scripts that live in our drawers. Because when you hold up that too tight dress, you're not just deciding whether to keep it. You're deciding whether to keep believing that your worth is tied to a dress size. When you fold away that sensible work jacket, you're quietly acknowledging that maybe that version of life, the one that required power heels and polite small talk, isn't your world anymore. And when you release that sparkly top that never quite felt like you, you're really saying, thank you for the fantasy, but I'm happier being myself. Each piece that leaves makes a little more space for truth. And there's something deeply freeing about that. Because for years, decades even, so many of us have worn things to blend in, or to impress, or to meet some invisible standard of appropriate. We've squeezed our toes into shoes that made us limp by lunchtime. We've tugged at skirts that rode up, or blouses that gaped, or belts that reminded us to hold our stomachs in. And for what? To appear put together? To meet an expectation that no one even remembers setting. Somewhere along the lines, we got the idea that to be acceptable, we had to be uncomfortable. Not just in our clothes, but sometimes in our lives. And maybe that's what this great wardrobe liberation is really about. Not just about comfort, but about truth. About looking at what you've been carrying and saying, thank you, but I don't need this anymore. Because here's what I've learned. When you let go of what doesn't fit, you make room for what does. In your wardrobe, yes, but also in your heart. It's strange how light it feels to release a little bit of the past. You think you'll feel regret, but mostly you feel relief. Like you finally stop pretending. And then something shifts. You start choosing clothes that love you back. Soft things, gentle colours, fabric that move with you, not against you. You stop buying things for imaginary occasions and start dressing for real life. The one where comfort and joy are the new dress code. And in that quiet act of choosing softness over struggle, you realise something even bigger. You've stopped performing. You're no longer dressing for approval. You're dressing for peace. At some point, and it usually happens quietly, you stop caring about what's in. You stop forcing yourself into things that pinch or itch or require a small team of assistants to fasten. One day you just decide, I'm done with suffering for fashion, and it's glorious. You start buying shoes based on comfort. You look at clothes and think, can I sit in this? Can I breathe in it? Can I eat pasta without needing to undo something afterwards? If the answer is yes, it goes in the basket. There's a joy in soft waistbands and forgiving fabrics that I never fully appreciated in my 20s. Back then, I wanted to look comfortable, that artful, effortless kind of comfort that actually takes 40 minutes of effort. Now, I just am comfortable, and it shows. I think that's the secret nobody tells you. True style isn't about trends or labels. It's about ease. It's about looking like you're at home in your own skin. And that can't be faked with a new jacket. When you stop dressing to impress, something shifts deep inside you. You walk differently. You smile more. You stop adjusting yourself every 5 minutes. You take up space. And you realise that the people who matter, the real, kind, honest ones, don't care what you're wearing. They care that you're there. So now my wardrobe looks a little different. Fewer someday clothes. More I feel good today clothes. A lot more cardigans. And a growing collection of soft, roomy trousers that could double as pyjamas in an emergency. There's a kind of quiet rebellion in it. Choosing comfort in a world that still tries to tell women that beauty requires discomfort. It's saying, actually, no, I can be beautiful and comfortable. I can be stylish and soft. And that extends beyond the wardrobe. When you start choosing comfort in what you wear, you start choosing it in everything. In how you spend your time, in the people you keep close, in what you say yes and no to, because comfort isn't laziness, it's self-respect. It's saying, I've earned my peace. I want my life to fit. So yes, this is the great wardrobe liberation. But really, it's the great life liberation, disguised as laundry. And next time you open your wardrobe and see only things that feel like you, soft, forgiving, honest, take a little bow. You've come a long way from that person who bought clothes for parties she didn't even want to go to. This, right here, is what freedom looks like. It's a well-loved jumper, a pair of comfortable shoes, and a deep exhale that says, I like who I am, and I'm not dressing up as anyone else anymore. So that's it, the great wardrobe liberation. It's not just about clothes, of course. It's about permission. Permission to choose comfort over conformity, softness over struggle, and honesty over maybe one day. Because somewhere between the sequins and the sweatpants, we find out who we really are. Someone softer, wiser, freer. And maybe that's the beauty of getting older. You stop dressing for the world and you start dressing for peace. You stop trying to fit into things and you start creating a life that fits you. So if you've been waiting for a sign to clear out your wardrobe and your worries, this is it. Keep what feels good, let go of the rest. And remember, real style isn't about turning heads, it's about being comfortable enough to hold your own, preferably in elastic waistbands. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Take gentle care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.